Well, we're not related, but I certainly do. I do like him and appreciate him, and I'm glad he is on the face of this planet. And that is Sean Steele. How are you?
Good. It has been a beautiful day. We just had a wonderful Apollo program, respite day, and a lot of great stories and meaningful connections. And so I'm kind of in that tired, but also afterglow of recognizing that we're doing really good, meaningful work.
Well, tell me your official title.
Oh, the Reverend. There's a
The
definite article
Reverend.
there. I know, the Reverend Sean Steele. And I'm not quite the Reverend Doctor yet until I finish my DMin here in the next 12 to 18 months. But the Reverend Sean Steele and Episcopal priest.
In my neighborhood, in my hometown, my home part of south of Houston in Nassau Bay, the Clear Lake area. And Sean and I are often asked if we're related. No, we're not. We do have the same last name, but a lot of people started suggesting to Sean that he reach out to me because you started at a program, and you mentioned this there at the very beginning, the Apollo program. Now, not the Apollo program we are all very aware of in
That's
that
right.
neighborhood, being a NASA neighborhood, but
That's
it
right.
is a respite thing that you have put together that I told Sean, we talked about this a little while ago. My mom needed this so badly when she was taking care of my dad, who was had frontal lobe dementia and vascular dementia. He was having some issues. And then of course I lost him and then discovered she had Alzheimer's. And even then there was really until I got her into a memory care and assisted living program, there I was at a loss of what to do. And
Mhm.
you've created this Apollo program, so I'm going to let you explain what is the Apollo program.
Yeah, we created the name, um, but we definitely are next in line from some super faithful, smart people who have been working in this field for a really long time. So we've partnered with an organization out of Alabama called the Respite for All Foundation, which was started 12 or so years ago by a woman named Daphne Johnson. She had been working in care facilities, memory care facilities, aging facilities for her career and went to her pastor and said, I think there is a need. The story goes the pastor said, is there a need that will only be met if a church meets it, if this church meets it? And so that was ringing in her ears. And she says, I think we have a need for community and joy and fun that I'm not seeing in the care that we're even giving. And so they launched this program, and since then have had over 50 different locations. Now it's very well thought out. They rely heavily on the work of Tipa Snow and other people, and have built a 4 hour respite program that is designed to be a community model of care. It's not a medical model. It is a community model rooted in core values of joy and integrity and transformation and really about creating a space where when a person walks in, unless they're looking carefully, they're not going to know who is a friend with dementia and who is not, because everybody's just having a good time. I refer to it as kind of like the weekly boomer cruise ship party. It is a blast. Uh, and so we
I
have
love it.
we have different activities and different things, and I can go over the schedule, but it's all on our website.
Well, walk me through this. Let's say I had discovered you when my mom was still with me and I had called you or come into the church. How does it start? How do you
Right.
assess? Do you have, what does it
Yeah.
cost? All of those things.
Yeah, no, I mean, so the program is designed for those that are in the mild to moderate stages of dementia. And so, and what that means for us is that you have to be able to use the bathroom by yourself. I mean, you don't have to go to the bathroom I mean, because you might get confused or lost. You'll always have somebody there, but you have to be able to use the bathroom by yourself. You have to be able to eat by yourself. Now, we'll cut up your food if you can't use a knife or don't, that's not appropriate. So that's not a problem. You have to eat by yourself. And you have to, we say, play well with others. That doesn't mean you can't have a moment of being scared or panicked or frustration. It just means that dispositionally you can't be aggressive. And we know sometimes that happens with our friends with dementia. It just is.
And
So
when
if you
that
meet,
does happen, Sean, as I'm so personal now with the Reverend,
yeah,
um, when that happens, Sean, you have people that are trained. if
So that's the
somebody gets
thing.
agitated or scared or whatever.
Absolutely. So we are a heavily community model of care. So there is a screening, a background checking, a training for each one of our volunteers. They need to be known to the community. They need to be a part of, and I have about 40 volunteers that have been trained now. I haven't had less than 15 any given Tuesday, and the most friends that I've had is five. So I mean, it's a heavy party community model of care, and everybody. I mean, here's what I realized: I've been swimming in the dementia literature and training for 4 months, trying to learn. I mean, men in my family and people in my family die early of heart disease. We don't haven't had to deal with dementia yet, but I can tell you that 80% of our volunteers have had a loved one with dementia. They're already more expert than I ever will be because they know, they've
They've
lived with
been
it,
through
they've
it.
been there, and that's who we're drawing, right? We're drawing volunteers of the same age, the same generation who have been through this, who understand, who are now trying to honor their loved ones and be part of a community that they wish that they had. So it's
Well, and
really
it's also,
joyful.
I speak from experience, it's also very cathartic after going through this and losing a loved one to Alzheimer's or to any of the dementias. It's very cathartic to, at first, people think, oh no, I can't be around it. I can't be around it anymore. It was just such a
Hmm.
bad, sad experience. But then I think once people do get involved, whether it's with the Apollo program, your respite care, they come see my play or whatever, you you find that it's a very cathartic experience, that what you
Hmm.
did and what you went through and how it changed you, um, you bring a wealth of information, and it's also very, very healing. What are some of the challenges? Because I know somebody's going to hear this somewhere, Sean, that says, wow, they're doing this in this church, and we would like to do a program like this. What are the
Yeah.
challenges to getting this going, and then follow that up with what are the challenges to keep it going?
Yeah, no, that's great. So, I've been doing entrepreneurial type ministry for a while, right? And so it's part of the reason why I came here. I'm the associate here. I'm not the head pastor. And my supervisor and friend and colleague specifically asked me to come and be a part of starting this because he was the one who realized that there was a growing need that nobody was meeting. And so he found the partnership in Alabama. And I've been now coming and taking the lead and executing the vision. But my entrepreneurial background has always been you find a need and then you build the support to help carry the suffering as a community, and people will come. If you build it, they will come, right? It's the old Kevin Costner model, right? And so far, I got to be honest, that's been fairly easy in my entrepreneurial ministry efforts. Because of my lack of experience with this, I didn't realize how difficult it is for the care partner to get from their front door to our front door. It is so difficult. It is so emotional. There's so much shame. There's so much guilt. There's so much, you know, um, fear, dependency, and dare I say sometimes codependency. Not judging, just being honest, right? Like people they don't know how to function, right? And it requires such a heavy level of trust. And so, you know, for me, raising some funding and getting the volunteers and casting a vision and getting them trained and building the program and being the cruise ship director on the day of, this is all stuff I'm good at. How do we now convince people that their loved one is going to be safe and that it's worth a shot to come? That's been the challenge. I say walking them from their front door to ours, and so that's where I could use your listeners' help and people. And to do that, I mean, I say come by and see it. If you as the care partner want to come by and check it out, if you want to come and sit with your loved one the whole day, you can come every time, right? Eventually, I might say, "Don't you want to get your nails done, or don't you want to play around the golf?" I mean, I would probably encourage them, but we're here to provide support, and whatever that means. So that's been the first challenge is the long walk from their front door to ours. I didn't realize it was going to be so difficult for folks, and
It
it
would
is.
probably be helpful if we told people what the name of the church was. I just
Oh
thought
yeah,
that.
good. So yeah, thanks. So it's the St. Thomas the Apostle Episcopal Church in Nassau Bay, and the program is every Tuesday from 10 to 2 p.m. And we had a sponsor pay fees for folks, so there's not going to be any charge in 2025 for anybody to come. So I'm super excited about that. And it's at 18300 Upper Bay Road in Nassau Bay, Texas, St. Thomas the Apostle Episcopal Church. If you're interested, please contact the church website. There's a little tab that says respite, and there's a form to fill out because I would like to have a conversation with you before you bring your loved one. But if you just show up, that's fine too. We'll work it out. Like, I want to get people there.
Well, and I'm fortunate that I have so many steelworkers, not only in the Clear Lake and Houston area, but really all over the country and all over the world. And this is a program that's found in other places as well, correct?
Sure is. We are the first in Texas, believe it or not. We're not the
Wow.
first people to provide a respite day
Right, right.
program,
But this
right?
particular program.
That's right. Care Partners has a gathering place, and they've been doing a great job with that. That's typically a once a month community, right? And so we're trying to be a once a week, and the dream is to go to twice a week. Our very regular community of people, very similar models. They do great work. This is just a lit like the model of this is can you get a little bit more consistent with people? It started in Alabama. Most of them are in Alabama. They are now popping up all over the country. You can go to Respite for All Foundation. Daphne, the executive director, hopes that we become a training site. She wants 100 in Texas. I mean, she says that we can't have enough of these programs for people because it is a most people have no idea how significant this issue is and the burden it places on the family and the caretakers.
I can't tell caregivers enough how important this is. If you've, I always go back to the Rosalind Carter. There are only four kinds of people in the world: those who have been caregivers, those who are caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need caregivers. Odds are
Mm,
you're going to be one or all four of those at some point in your life. And to be able to drop somebody off where they are happy to be dropped off, where you know they're safe, it's not only just knowing they're safe, it's knowing that they're having a good time and that it's also good for them. It's stimulating their brain, it's making them laugh, it's making them smile. But you, as a caregiver, have to do this for yourselves. And uh, caregivers, more often than not, the statistics show, um, die before the patient, especially if they're
yeah.
older, because they don't take care of themselves. They don't give, and they feel guilty. Just that one, I'm going to drop my husband off for 4 hours and go get my nails done again. There's an incredible amount of guilt that is associated with caregiver on so many levels. So if you are a caregiver, you're listening to Sean and me. If you're not in our area, find a respite care in your area. It is becoming much more common. I would have done anything for this, for my mom to have this for my dad, and for me to have had this for my mom. Now, I was fortunate that we were able to move her into a very nice, um, what started as independent living, where they had all these activities and these sort of things because it's so important. But I just can't stress enough to a caregiver, do this. And like Sean said, if you want to come and sit and see how it goes, and obviously you don't just drop somebody you love off without, wanting to vet all of
Yeah.
them. But then you'll see you can be comfortable and you can go to a movie. Just do something for yourself. Um, walk me through a day. Walk me through, it's 4 hours, right?
Yeah,
So
I'll walk you through today.
what am
So
I doing? What am I
the
doing for
first
four
30
hours?
minutes, yeah, the first 30 minutes when you get there, we are just welcoming folks and we're drinking coffee and eating pastries and scones and because our friends love the sweets. And so we just have that. And if they have diabetes, we will be attentive to that. I want to say that. But by and large, we're eating our scones and drinking our coffee and spend about 30 minutes doing that. Then we transition over to I call it the auditorium. It's just seating setup where we break up into two teams and we play games and trivia for about 30 minutes. It's a hoot. Either name that tune or other things. And we have a big television that has the PowerPoints on it and the questions so everybody can read it. And we go at a great pace. Have a great time. And then after that, we will do some music and movement. So we've got catalog of songs where we're sitting in our chairs. It's kind of like a sit and be fit, but we're using scarves and props and balls and dancing and don't break my heart, the whole bit, all the hand gestures, all the movement, the YMCA. we're getting our bodies moving. We're getting the good happy chemicals flowing in the brain. Having a great time. So after that, we'll take breaks. People use the restroom. Transitions are really important, as you know, because they can be confusing. So as we transition from one activity to another, we're extra careful and slow. We'll then transition to sitting down and having some type of craft or art or service project. Last week and today, we have been making bags and coloring and making cards for 80 to 100 foster care kids that are going to have a welcome to summer bag that somebody made for them with a bunch of little toys and different things in it. Bracelets, things, pony bead bracelets, stuff we made. So we've been doing that for a couple of weeks. After that, we have a lunch team that feeds us lunch, and we spend about 30, 45 minutes just chatting and eating and having dessert and just being community together. After lunch we transition again to give some time after dinner lunch if people need to use the restroom. We move over to a balloon volleyball court that we've set up, so we'll put 10 chairs on each side, a nice pickleball net, and we everybody gets a balloon and a half a pool noodle, and we see how long we can keep the balloons in the air, and it's a riot. Everybody loves it. Get your heart rate going. Right now our current record is 97 seconds. So if anybody is competitive like me and wants to come and beat that, come on. So 97 seconds, and then this is where we're unique, and so at 1:30 we transition to an optional part of the day. We would prefer if you drop your loved one off, they stay from at least 10 to 1:30. At 1:30, we will transition to our sanctuary to have a dementia-friendly worship service that we've created, because a lot of our families can't have a spiritual need met with their current church. It's just not safe, it's not comfortable. So at 1:30, to the whole community, anybody can come. Their loved ones can come back and sit with them. Their loved ones can just pick them up. If you're not a Christian, if that's not important to you or you feel in any way uncomfortable, just pick them up at 1:30, no problem. And I'm an Episcopal priest, so there's not a lot of anxiety in the way that we do things, right? And so, but if you'd like, you can come into the sanctuary where everybody's welcome, and we will have we sing very traditional hymns that people will know in their memories deep down, Lord's Prayer, Psalm 23, things that have probably been mindlessly put in folks as being. I mean, we know that nonverbal folks with dementia can say the Lord's Prayer, so we sing some songs, we have communion that lasts about 20-25 minutes, and then we transition to leave, and people leave at 2 o'clock,
That was
and
the
then we
last
clean
of
up.
the music that my mother really recognized,
Yeah.
was the Methodist hymns that she would sing. My brother told me a great story. He's like, I have never been so embarrassed in my life. He said, I would always be in trouble in Sunday school class. So mom would have to go get me out of class. And then she would sit way up in the balcony where they had the TV cameras. It was St. Luke's Methodist Church, where they were, one of the first services in Houston that was being broadcast live. So they would sit up there by the cameras because she knew that would fascinate my brother and keep him quiet and keep his interest. And then my brother said, but then when they started the hymns, oh my, that woman would sing those hymns at the top of her lungs. And he goes, she could not carry a tune. I just wanted to crawl under that
Mm.
camera. But
Oh,
then when I told him that she, later on, as we were getting closer to the end, I said, she really perked up when they were playing some of the hymns. And that's when he told me the
yeah.
story. That's what she loved those songs. So that's wonderful to hear.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, is creating meaningful connection, because all the research shows, as you know, that folks can still create meaningful connection. And that's an important part of what it means to be a human. And that's what we're doing. I mean, and for me, we can't emphasize enough giving people permission. I was just telling somebody today that, I've been an exercise person for, 30 years, and I know that muscle builds when you're resting. It's not when you're tearing it down and exercising. It builds when you're resting. And the word suffer means to, when you pull back, the meaning, it means to hold a weight, like carry a weight from underneath. It means you're standing under something. And that's what it feels like to suffer. And I tell folks that, like, what we're trying to do is we can't take the suffering. Like, I mean, the suffering is, but what we can do is hold the weight so that you can rest, so that your muscles grow, and then it feels a little lighter. It's the same suffering, but it just feels a little lighter when our muscles grow when we rest. So I say you're going to be a better caretaker. You're doing this because you love them and you want to be the best caretaker and spouse and partner possible. And to do that, you got to rest. You got to let the muscles grow.
What can we do for you?
Oh, I mean, for those that pray and put out good vibes in the world, we can always use that. I mean, and I tell the story. I mean, I would love to have the problem of calling you, panic, saying, Dana, I don't have enough volunteers. I don't know what to do. I've got so many folks that have realized the value of this. I would love to say, Dana, I don't have money. We've got so many folks. I need help. That I want that problem. I want to make that phone call. So right now, it's just go to our website, sttaec.org. So it's our church website, St. Thomas the Apostle Episcopal Church, sttaec.org, and click on respite. It's in the upper right hand corner, and it'll tell you all about our program. So post that on Facebook, send it to a friend. Come by and check it out. I want to have the problem of not enough volunteers because we got so many friends. So I need your help.
I will have all of this information wherever you listen or watch your podcast or your post. I will have it wherever you are right now. It'll be attached to that. Final words to somebody, last words to somebody listening to this that needs a little nudge to come your way.
It's hard and it's not fair. And we don't have the answers to why these things happen and why this kind of suffering is in the world. But what we can do is bind together and show each other that we're not alone. And so I know it's hard to believe that and to trust people, but try it once. It might not be for you, but it won't be a waste of your time.